enough.
Hey guys, here's another update from Iceland. You see the live video behind me from Ruv.is. They really have great reporting and great pictures. So the activity of the eruption seems to have reached its peak. So the scientists don't expect this thing to grow any larger, to expand the fissure any further. So basically that's it. It can only go down from there. That is basically what we're hearing. So the activity, the eruption that began shortly after 11 p.m. local time yesterday seems to have reached its peak yesterday Icelandic time. The meteorological office, the Icelandic meteorological office has announced peak is reached. The fissure has stopped, obviously expanding, and there is no indication that the activity will increase again. But we never know with this volcano. It's always good for a surprise. The length has not extended further. It's estimated to be 3 kilometers long. Lava flow is spreading both east and west. And we will hear there is something or someone, no, it's something that always gets the beating almost in every eruption. So we'll talk about that. There is no lava flow towards Grindavik right now, and that is really, really good. The current eruption is considerably smaller than the last eruption that began on August 22nd. And we have some numbers. The estimated lava flow at this time is 1,300 meters per second. Is that a mile per second roughly? But it was around 2,500 meters per second during the last eruption. So a lot more, almost twice as much. But one thing that scientists are saying is outstanding with this eruption, is totally different with this eruption, is the pattern of the eruptions overall seems to change, or they're even saying is changing. So it seems to be clear. So this is attracting the attention of the scientists, especially at the Icelandic Meteorological Office. And the fact that they're mentioning is that something was different this time with the seismic activity shortly before the eruption started. The seismic activity did not begin to increase the weeks before the eruption, and it has usually always done that. So it did increase slightly the day before the eruption. I've made a video about this, right? We were looking at this. I'll show you the map again. It was here, right in that area where I've drawn the red circle. That was just a day before the eruption, these earthquakes. And then they reported, oh, it seems the land rise has stopped and, is leveling out. And that's usually an indication for an eruption. But they were kind of thinking, no, this is just measuring instruments malfunctioning because of weather and stuff like this. But boy, were they wrong. The volcano just did what it's doing behind me right now. And then this is not the only thing that is a little bit unusual. They're saying also the amount of magma that has accumulated underneath Shortsengi power plant in Blue Lagoon was similar to the amount that the magma chamber had before the last eruption. And usually the pattern was from eruption to eruption, the magma chamber needed more magma in order to trigger the next eruption. So does that mean that the current magma chamber does not even have room to expand any further for the next eruption? That's why it has triggered it right now, because it couldn't expand anymore. We will have to see what they say in the coming days and weeks about that, because it's definitely a trend breaker. What they're saying is that the recent trend has been that more and more magma had to accumulate to trigger the next event. So that's why they're saying this is an indication that the patterns that we've seen so far in the past eruptions are changing, that pattern is changing. And then they had given out warnings. They said lava could reach Grindavik tonight. And I told you, someone meaning that road is almost, with every eruption, the last ones that we had, getting the beating, and the lava is flowing over it, sometimes even in multiple areas at the doorstep of Grindavik. But the favorite point is basically where Svartsengi is. There the lava always destroys it and is flying over it. And guys, what can I tell you? It has happened again. It has already happened again. I told you in my last video, well, 700 meters, that's what they said is where the lava is at the distance from Grindavik. And I told you this, the lava, even if it's slow, if it's flowing slower than last time, it will only take an hour or two until it can reach that distance. And it happened. I'll show you again. These pictures were taken when the lava was approaching Grindavik, and at that time it was pretty clear, yeah, the eruption's not going to stop right now, so it's definitely going to flow over that road. That's the access road, basically the easiest way to get from the Keflavik airport or Reykjavik to the Blue Lagoon, to the Svartsengi power plant, but then also further south to Grindavik. So one information officer of the Public Security Agency has said, her name is Hjordis Gudmundsdottir, we're not particularly worried about the infrastructure as it is now. Yep, but Grindavik again. And she mentioned it. Yeah, lava is expected to flow over that road. Benedict Gunnar Feiksson, the head of the deformation measurements at the Icelandic Meteorological Office, has also made a statement, and he said it's clear that the power is already being reduced at the eruption, and that is always normal. We see the eruption in the first 3 hours, we see it increase, getting larger, higher, fountains are getting higher, the fissures are getting longer, but then pretty quickly it starts decreasing, and then it gets smaller, and then maybe only a few vents keep going, and depending how long the eruption will last, we will see these vents keep going, and then it gradually is slowing down over time. But we already had this year an eruption that lasted 2 months, so we don't know. But we had some that lasted only a few days. He says this eruption activity that we've seen today has peaked earlier than expected, but also, and he stresses that, we can't rule out that it could catch up again. You never know. But they're not expecting it at this moment. And yeah, here's the picture, guys. That is Grindavik. Glowing lava is now flowing over Grindavik, and it seems to have now completely crossed the road and clogged it up. And it seems that this is the road, that this is the already new detour basically that they made over the old areas where lava had flowed. I always say float, it's not an airplane. Gosh, I gotta get this out of my blonde head, guys. So if lava was flying over Grindavik, that would not be such a problem. No, it's flowing. So there have been multiple spots, and you know, it's not that you can say, oh, eruption ended, let's get some excavators and let's push this rocks away and clear the road, because it stays hot for quite a while. So they have brought in material, and it looks like there are some gravel roads that they made around that. But yeah, the volcano said, hold my beer, I'm catching you again, I'm destroying this again. But I'm sure they'll be quick to build another detour, to build another loop around this damage, so that critical infrastructure can be reached again. The power plant, I wouldn't say that the Blue Lagoon is critical infrastructure, but it's definitely critical for making money for Iceland. And of course, Grindavik. There's other ways to get into Grindavik from west and east, but Grindavik is of course the most convenient road for that. So yeah, poor road, what can I say? Now it's getting morning in Iceland. So what is the situation after this eruption night? In a short summary, the lava has just started to flow over Grindavik at 5 a.m. in the morning Icelandic time, and has completely closed off the road by now. Hjordis Gudmundsdottir, information officer for public safety, said this morning that she's not worried about the infrastructure, despite the fact that Grindavik is clogged off again. The edge of the lava was about a kilometer away from another road, Njardvikuret. I can't pronounce that. That was also about 5 a.m. this morning. A kilometer, that is not so far. So I think this is still at risk. EFLA, the geotechnical engineer from EFLA, said yesterday that Njardvikuret and other nearby infrastructures are well protected. So they're taking care of this. Then we have Benedict of Feixon. He said this morning the lava flow had slowed considerably during the night, so he confirmed that. And he said also that the activity has decreased at the northern and the southern ends of this 3-kilometer long fissure. And Icelandic Meteorological Office says the maximum activity of this eruption was probably reached around 1 o'clock in the morning Icelandic time. And that was the peak, and it has decreased since then. So it is still not light in Iceland, as you can see behind me. So for now, we still enjoy this nightly eruption. It looks pretty cool. And then we go from there, depending on how long this eruption will take, how much lava it will send. I mean, it has flowed over Grindavik. The next step would be, okay, now it's approaching the defense walls of Svartsengi again. But since it's smaller right now, it's probably not going to be an issue. We know that past eruptions have breached these defense walls, so you never ever know. And the problem is with each eruption, they're building these lava carpets in the areas that are before these defense walls. So the land is getting higher. So basically the difference between the land and the defense wall is also getting smaller. That's why they always have to increase the height of the defense walls. But they can only do this so many times. So after the breach at the Svartsengi defense wall, they were building inside the protected area a second row of defense walls. So should the first one be breached, the second one would catch it. They also did this in the eastern part of Grindavik some eruptions ago, and it has worked well so far. So far, the system with the defense walls is working well. The only thing that could run them into problems, if there was an eruption that was more powerful and would last really, really much longer and would send a lot of lava flow. So then, depending on the location, Grindavik would be highly at risk, or Svartsengi, or if that eruption was further north, Reykjanesbrau, the major highway that connects the airport with the capital. But right now, good location, nothing seems to happen. Only our buddy Grindavik is getting the beating again. But for now, that's about it. We haven't heard any stories of weird tourists or hikers that come to the idea to walk to that eruption site. Don't do that. There's the risk of volcanic gases. There are no trails. It's hostile landscape for walking. It's cold. You get exhausted pretty quickly. There's other fissures that can open that you don't see. It's very, very dangerous. Enjoy all the pictures and videos that are available, but stay safe. And that's it for now, guys. I hope you have seen my last video where Rudy took over a little bit reporting about this. I hope you like this. It's as soon as I get out of this chair, he hops in and then he sits there. So he wanted to do that, guys, and so he did. So thanks for watching. I put a QR code here to my Buy Me a Coffee website. So if you want to support the channel there, that is probably easier with the QR code, but otherwise the link is in the description as well. I'm doing that for those of you who have been in the lives. I've received some messages and some comments about Apollo, and that's so nice of you guys offering how you can help. And you know, normally I'm really trying to do this by myself and don't want to host a pity party or something, but this is extreme, the vet costs for this. So yeah, it is appreciated, the help you offered, guys. The easiest way is through the Buy Me a Coffee site. But you know, Also, if you just want to support me, just go to that site, follow. It's for free. You'll get posts and you see emails if there's something new erupting, totally for free. So join me there or become a member of this channel. I'm actually thinking that we could host a live for just the channel members in the near future. So do a little gossip chat about the latest what's going on. So I'm working on that, guys. So thanks for being here. Thanks for watching my videos. Thanks for watching this channel and supporting this channel by doing that. So stay safe, guys, wherever you are. I'll see you very soon, hopefully. Bye-bye.